Shalom to you hopeful elect Akim and Akwath out there. Together, let us give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rechak Wadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. A sincere salutation to the Akim doing the work, putting their life on the line, and to all of the hopeful elect, endure. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah, endure. It's your fellow servant Shemaiah. And I want to pull this up first. Let me get a scripture. As we see the pending danger approach the children of Israel, right? Being that we're in Jacob's trouble, we sit upon our watch day in and day out, asking this question right here, or seeking this purpose right here. The Most High answers the prophet. It's Habakkuk 2, verse 1. Because these whatever comes is not on our own, reconnaissance or intelligence or wisdom, but it's based on what the Lord has taught us. He brought us into this truth. He broke down certain scriptures to certain individuals, and we all received them through the Holy Spirit in one accord. Some more than others, but the fear of the Lord is the top priority. To do the work, to be diligent, to seek Yahweh Shem Yahushua, 10 times more, to fall back in love with our first love, which is our Creator, and through His words, He keeps us, He keeps us grounded. All right. And the job of the prophet is to warn the people, to say before, to warn our people. The job of a watchman is to warn our people, to say before. And the thing is, the Spirit of the Lord is upon the earth, so we can use other individuals' experiences, talking rules, talking points, and just to bring out a message, sincerely, Lord willing. With no further ado, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. And what shall I answer when I am reproved? Okay. I'm gonna get in the NLT. It says, I will climb up to my watchtower. Every day we wake up and we see what's going on. From a distance, we see what's going on. We have a vision of what's going on. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man coming through with his plans, the things that's detrimental in the shortcoming, and things that's detrimental in the long coming. Okay, like he has these he set up these, I forget what they call it right now, where these situations where they distract people from what's really going on, like sending people to jail and to prison, or even taking certain people out, certain political figures, they take them out to distract the actual things that's going on behind the scenes, like laws being made. All right, certain rights are being taken away, so-called rights, that's what they call it anyway. Certain civilian obligations are being stripped, behind the scenes, things that's going to affect people in the long run. All right. And, we use news articles and things like that to mix with, not mix, but to highlight what's being written in the scriptures. The Lord revealed his secrets to his servants, the prophets. All right. It says, I will climb up to my watchtower and stand at my guard post. There I will wait to see what the Lord says, and how he will answer my complaint. Okay. And I was in the midst of doing something earlier today, like washing clothes or something like that, and we're constantly on the watch. We're constantly on the lookout, and sometimes paperwork just come across our table. Like, check this out and look into it. And this came out probably like 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, and I want to pull it up. Fair use only. 6 hours ago, fair use only. I'm not using this information to make any money. Fulakia. It's been a long day. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, I want to pull this out. In these lessons, we also learn ourselves. Like personally, I want to say that we learn ourselves. I never knew nothing about no carbon footprint. And this lesson, though, what's being said in this lesson has broke that down to me a lot more, with a lot more understanding. This is not medical information. Also, fair use only. I don't get paid off of none of the material I use. And a big ups, matter of fact, for the information that people do the work in. There's also things called secret disciples, right? Only thing, like some of these guys, they might call on a different name, so you gotta be careful. Certain men, women, whoever. When the time is right, if it's meant to, the Lord's gonna make them repent, and they're gonna start calling on the right names. Because I've heard a lot of people talk about Yahweh, or Yahuwah, and things like that. The proper names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son are Yahweh, meaning He is. That's the Heavenly Father's name, and Yahweh Shai, meaning He saves or He delivers. That's the name of His only begotten Son. Okay, with that, without any further ado, I'll play this clip and we're going to go from there.
Now, I don't know if it was a prophecy from my T-shirt suppliers, Wide Awake Clothing. Linked in the bio if you want to buy one. But last night I received this. Cash is freedom. And then underneath it, use it or lose it. Lovely T-shirt. Added to the collection.
Cash is freedom. In a sense, let me get that. Let me start there. Cash is freedom. I wouldn't say so much as freedom, but I get where they're going. Because with paper money, you can do a lot of things, good and bad. It's a form of currency to a certain extent, but it's still not. It's not gold, rubies, and diamonds, and silver. It's not. It's not. It's not. Earth. It's not from the earth. It's not a resource from the earth that could be created naturally. Paper is a resource that's created by, and I gotta do that lesson. It's created by the government to pretty much create debt. I'll get a chance, so I'll do that lesson later on. But anyway, Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 12, it says, "For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it." All right, the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom give life to them that have it. Those that have wisdom. Money's all right. Wisdom and money is a defense, but you would rather have wisdom over just money. All right, money keeps us. Because what this lesson is going to go into is that they're trying to get rid of the so-called the fiat currency, the dollar bill. The coins, things are going digital. Banks, paychecks from your jobs to grocery shopping to helping family members out. Transactions can be made digitally. You don't have to send a card or a letter in the mail. You don't have to see anyone one-on-one to exchange, hand-to-hand, have hand-to-hand exchanges, for money to be transferred, right? It's for paper to be transferred. like you used to back in the day. Now everything is digital. They're creating a system where they keep a tab on everything that you do. All right, it's a part of this NWO system that they've been working on for the longest, and it's good. It's getting to a point where they're trying to control everything that you do. Right. That's why when he said money is freedom, this precept popped in my mind, and it says the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. All right, and those that have life are those that have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. The manner in which you're supposed to be conducting yourself in the fear of the Lord. Sacrificing to Him your days, your life, your time, your effort to learn about Him and His will, and to act on it. That's the wisdom that you want to have to receive that mercy that we're going to need in the times that's coming. Let's get it.
Links also in the comments. All my other t-shirts are on there as well. But cash is freedom, and today I can prove it once again. I don't want to be in smug corner for this because I want to be wrong, but I have been banging on about how the digital ID is going to be linked to your carbon footprint. It's a Chinese social credit system, and it's going to ruin your life. And last week, I'm sure he's a lovely guy, bloke called Phil. No, Tony, this is because I obviously shared the photo of the carbon allowance on the sandwich. No, Tony, this is just a voluntary thing. It's not going to mean anything. It's just for people that want to find out how they can do things better in life. And,
by them saying it's voluntary or them saying
advertising on Amazon took a leap of faith for me, but it ended up blessing my business tremendously.
By them saying it's voluntary or them saying it's optional, of course it is. It's just a test run. They want to see how many people will willingly give up their freedom, how many people will willingly enroll into their system. The rest, they will do it by force. It'll be mandatory.
Yeah. A lot of people are about to be tried. Matter of fact, let me get a precept on that. It just popped in my head. Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. All right? That's the time that we're coming into, the hour of temptation, where you're not going to be able to support, protect, have the comforts. Yeah, you're not going to have the comforts that we presently have been told that this is what keeps you safe. This is what keeps you healthy. This is what keeps you, being productive in society. When you're not able to buy and sell, when you can't pay rent, when you don't have a occupation, which what they're trying to do is make it where AI and robots are going to take over most of society's norms. They're going to have this thing called 15-minute cities that the elders and apostles brought up, and I believe I heard him say, I heard him mention this while I watched a little preview earlier, right? So they're going to have these 15-minute cities where you're going to be within the range of 15 minutes within the range of a city, right? Where you can conduct your business, and then you'll be watched all the way. The whole time you're going to be surveillance till you get back to your domicile, right? To your place where they can keep a close eye on you. It reminds me of a movie called Equilibrium, right? Equilibrium, is a movie where, people were doped up. They were all under one consent. They were all under you know, one, the NWO pretty much, all right? But you're going to have others that's going to be living off the grid, that's going to be living outside of this, those 15-minute city blocks where their faith is going to be tried. As it's written in, I want to say, I'm going to just get it out. Let me, I'm going to just pull it out, the word. Let's say, then shall it be known who am I chosen. This is the period of fire. This is the period of fire. Going back to what was that? Zechariah 13. You know, there's gonna be a fire, and 2/3 are not gonna make it, but 1/3 is gonna be brought through the fire, and they be tried as gold. It's tried in the fire. Maybe I have to get that too. But let's get this. It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and I'm gonna start at verse 71. It says, "They shall be like madmen," right? The government, other individuals, people as well. They should be like madmen. I got a sister that just told me a dream that she had, you know, not too long ago, and she was saying her and her children were in a house, their house, right? She noticed the house. I'm not gonna give her all her dream away, but a situation arose where people that look like they're from the Northern Kingdom with tattoos and things like that, you know, mainly the tribe of Issachar, you know, and things of that nature, was ransacking like a neighborhood, and their house was on the was in view, you know, and they were approaching them to you know, to get things out the house, and she had told her children, "Hey, let's go," you know, which is, yeah, that's the attitude you want to have. We want to be as pilgrims upon the earth. You know, you want all these things that we have, or all the things that we've been given, is there's going to be a determining factor of if you believe in the word of the Lord or you believe in your own understanding. The Lord said, "Be as though if you buy, be as though you're not going to get, you know, and if you're sold, as if you're not going to keep it." Roughly paraphrasing. You know, these carnal things, these objects, and these things that you probably spent lifetime to obtain and put your all into, you're gonna have to make a decision to leave this shit alone, leave it behind. All right. So long story short, she had got the babies, and they left. They went for a place to hide and everything like that. And she said she seen a couple of people. One person that saw them and approached them, and in the spirit, she perceived that it wasn't a bad situation, and the person actually was like an angel, right? It looked just like the other people, you know, with tattoos and everything like that, but the person was, you know, like, hide here and wait here and don't move till, you know, until everything blow over. And those certain situations are going to be had. You know, during Jacob's trouble, the Lord's going to put spirits on individuals to save his elect. You know, he's going to, as is written, when the ways of a man please the Lord, he make even your enemies to be at peace with you. There's going to be some people that's going to be in certain situations where it's going to seem like it's the end of the road. But the Lord's going to put spirits on in people's hearts and people's minds. The Lord controls all things, you know, in order to keep his elect preserved. You know, the like we just read in Revelation 3:10, you know, you keep the word of my patience, I will keep you from the hour of temptation. Right? This is all the Lord's doing at the end of the day. Right? Again, 2nd Ezra 16 and 73. It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Okay? So when that moment comes where people are going to be cast out of their houses, you know, 15-minute city situation going on, and whether or not you take this MARK, the RFID CHIP, this is going to be the determining factor of who's going to be tried like gold and who's going to their faith is going to bring them, where their faith by their works is going to bring them out, or we're going to find out who's going to be the predestined ones, who truly trust and believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Again, it's in verse 73. It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand," Jacob's trouble, "but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide." All right, that's Zechariah. That's Zechariah 13. I should have went over there, but it's okay. Zechariah 13. Beautiful. Yep. Let me open that up, though. Zechariah 13. I'm going to start at verse 8. And it says, "In that day," let me jump down, verse 8. "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die." That 2 parts talking about the 2/3 of Israel, the rebellious, unfaithful, unbelieving children of Israel. Right? And it says, "But the 3rd shall be left therein. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire," as we just read in 2nd Esdras. "I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. Salakia. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh, B'Shem Yahweh Shai, is my God, our power." All right. Oh, man, y'all was not that damn long. Y'all playing with me. Salakia, family.
It's believers sharing each other's medical expenses in a biblical way and praying one another through it.
How many people will willingly enroll into their system? The rest, they will do it by force. It'll be mandatory. Matter of fact, it won't be mandatory. Let me put it like this. It'll be recommended, because they can't really force it. But what they can do is make it where you're not allowed to do anything you were accustomed to. You're not allowed to live within the city pretty much and be a normal citizen without your compliance. That's what they can do, and that's what they will do.
If it helps them reduce their carbon footprint, it's not a compulsory thing. It's not going to be made. It's nothing like that. And, you've got to stop thinking that everything is a conspiracy, because, it's not healthy. Except everything is. It's not a conspiracy. It's fucking fact.
Right. It's
not a conspiracy. Digital ID is not.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing, to have our spiritual fathers and uncles, man. The beloved elders and apostles of the Great Millstone on down. They've been warning us of these atrocities that's coming to the world. The true prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the true men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the true church of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, they've been warning us for the longest. And they haven't changed their stances. They haven't been given to change. They haven't switched the doctrine. It's been 100% true this whole time. And you have everyone around the world who's paying attention, to the writings of the prophets, to the explanation of the prophets, of telling what the word really means and what it's really saying to the T. They're beginning to wake up and see as well. Probably not in the same sense as the prophets, put their own little twist on it, so on and so forth. But hey, we're getting closer and closer to that time that Yahweh Shai is going to return.
It's not a conspiracy anymore, is it? Because it's happening. Yep. So it's not a conspiracy. It's fact. Carbon allowances are no longer a conspiracy. They are fact, as I'm about to prove. Because I woke up this morning to another tag on Twitter from my good friend, Mr. Patrick van der Tallen. Good morning, Patrick. And it was a screenshot of a bank account showing carbon allowances. And I thought, oh, Jesus, no, this can't be real. So I scrolled down and somebody had asked Grok, is this real? Yes, it's real. It's a NatWest bank account. Well, I just happen to have a NatWest bank account that I don't use very much, which has worked slightly in my favour, as in I don't have to worry about my carbon allowance because I could just carry on using cash. But it also works in my detriment because I now have a carbon footprint. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh yeah, you're just making this shit up, Tone. So, I've got my trusty iPad, and I'm going to take you through it so you can see exactly what it is I see. If I put that up there like that, right, there's my iPad in the window. Now, obviously, this bit where I put my PIN number in, you ain't going to see this bit, all right? I know I've shared my address on here before, but I'm not that stupid. Right. So, logging in, you go to the main screen, and up the top, again, I'm not going to show you the main screen, it's got my balance on it, which really is the number of the devil. And up the top it says Home Help Payments Insight Supply. So you go to Insights. Right, I've gone to Insights. So at that point, I'll turn you around. Right, here we are. Look. We're on Insights, and it's various loads of crap that you don't really need to know about. But up here, look, my footprint. Click on my footprint. We're estimating your carbon footprint. It's already calculating it, and there it is, look, in black and white. Your estimated footprint is 65 kilos of CO2. I have no idea what that means, and I don't fucking care. But apparently it's like driving from Manchester to Cardiff. I know when Paddy sent his through to me, it was something like driving from Edinburgh to Plymouth. So he's obviously spent more money on his account than I have. Anyway, so you can see that it tells you every month what your carbon footprint is. And then you can view categories. Look at the categories. Bills, eating out, shopping, transport, groceries, fun and leisure, health and beauty, home and garden. They all have their own CO2 allowance, which can only be there so that you can be given a maximum that you can't go over, at which point you won't be able to use your card for that. However, it gets worse because I can tell you right away, the one thing I do use this account for is Sky Bet, right? So there, my biggest allowance is on fun and leisure. Somehow, me betting on a horse on Sky Bet is killing the planet. Fuck off. Right, so back to Insights. If I can get this right.
Right. I mean, because they're still going to race the horses, but you betting on that horse, right? You're putting money. Like it's like I always say in my some of my lessons, is that you might not think that what you're doing is a bad thing when it comes to sending money to donations, and you don't know exactly where that money is going. You don't really see the results of it. You don't have a carbon footprint, right? The people that's taking your donated money, you don't have a carbon footprint of where your money is going, where it's actually being used, what they're doing with it. You don't have any receipts of what they're doing with their money. They could be using that money to buy a couple of container ships to pack little children in to send across the world, to do a lot of ungodly things to these young ones. So on and so forth with anything you can imagine. But you spending your money, right, in donations. They say it's for this. They say it's for children, little children in the world. They say it's for to help the homeless, to help the widows, right? But you don't have any proof where that money is going. It could be going to start wars, right? Haven't we seen that lately? Hasn't that information been brought up lately by a lot of so-called whistleblowers? How a lot of the money, especially American dollars, are being used to go over there and fund wars for certain allies of this country, so on and so forth. So that's how they trying to say the same thing about about us. Like, what, this is where your stuff is going, but they got a carbon footprint. They got a carbon footprint on you. Talking about you pay for a horse bet. You paid in the horse bet race, but who the fuck is racing the horses? Right? But now you become a part of the problem.
What's special about this comedy, The Anaconda?
I think he's that snake.
If I get this right. And then my footprint again. And this, right? I'm going to turn the camera on again. Simply because I wish to be facing the camera as I say to you, you remember 5-6 years ago when people like me were saying they want to stop everyone eating meat and they want to stop everyone flying. Remember when we said those two things and we were told they were just mental conspiracy theories? Right, camera around again. Because these are the proposed carbon actions that I can take to save the planet. Ready? Transport, straight away. We'll see all 5. Reduce short-haul flights. Check your tyre pressure. Sharing your commute. Well, I don't do that. Taking more public transport. I would if it was any good. And there's the bottom one, look. There it is, you dirty milk float bastard.
Drive an electric vehicle. I wonder why they want people to drive electric vehicles instead of fuel-powered or gasoline, petrol, they say in some countries. I wonder why they want people to drive electric vehicles. Have you seen the movie Leave the World Behind?
Right.
Do you remember when the grid went down, the power grid that is, how all of the Teslas were stuck? They couldn't go nowhere. Do you remember that? It's all about control. When the 15-minute cities drop, because your cities will be turned into 15-minute cities, where everything that you need is within a 15-minute proximity from your home. Have you noticed there are more bike lanes on the roads? They want people to ride bikes and walk over being vehicle owners, because private vehicle ownership will be eliminated. That's what they want. That's what the WEF said, the World Economic Forum. You eat too much meat, that'll be a problem. Meat is for the elite. They want human beings eating bugs as protein. Oh, you had too much fun. Access denied. Can't have no more fun. Oh, you took one too many trips this year. You can't take no more trips. I know that your family member perished, but sorry, you can't get on a flight to attend the funeral. This is going to be the reality in a couple years for the world.
Drive an electric vehicle. Rather lick my own arsehole. Right, so that ain't happening. Can I go back out of that? Yes, I can. Right. Come back out of that. Now this one, look, next down here. Food. You can see the first one already. 6 ways that you can reduce your carbon footprint. Trying Veggie Mondays. Never going to happen. Reduce food waste. Do that anyway. Choosing vegetarian. Hang on, that's the same thing as Monday. 4, buy local British and seasonal produce. Absolutely. 5, choosing mostly plant-based. And then number 6, choosing vegetarian. So 4 out of those 6 suggestions.
Listen, guys, if I were a lawyer, I could defend anything. Joker, Voldemort, the Empire,
6 suggestions are don't eat meat.
And I wonder why they want people to choose vegetarian or choose a plant-based diet. Could it be because the plant-based diet consists of majority soy products? Could it be because the vegetarian diet consists of what now has been regulated, which is PFAS, the forever chemical, increases your chances of getting sick and being ill and being unalived? Look it up. It's been in our drinking water. It's in non-stick pans. And now what Trump has done is, after them doing research on how hazardous and toxic PFAS is to the human body, how it could cause infertility issues, how it could cause cancer, how it could cause your kids to be delayed, etc., they will regulate that. And now it'll be used on your vegetables. Instead of us reducing it and trying to eliminate it, we're going to regulate it. And now we're going to say, in order to reduce your carbon footprint, These are the foods that you should eat. In other words, we want to unalive you.
And you're telling me that
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Let me see. Microplastics. I mean, look at this, man. Microplastics. Are everywhere. I'll do that. AI overview. Microplastics are present in almost all environments, from the deepest oceans to the air we breathe, and have been detected throughout the human body, including in blood, organs, and the placenta. Babies. It says these tiny plastic particles come from a variety of sources, including the breakdown of larger plastics, synthetic clothing, cosmetics, and packaging, and can be ingested through food and water or inhaling through the air. Look at this, man. Because I was watching something the other day. Maybe it was one of the brothers did their lesson. Hey, the Lord said this too. That's why the Lord got to come and shorten the time, man. I know where it's at. Matthew 24 and verse 24. Salakia. Matthew 24, verse 24. It said, nope, that's not it. Salakia. I thought I knew what I was talking about. Yeah, there it is, 22. All right, it says, Matthew 24 and verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. What's another one? It's in Numbers, I believe. It goes, Mark 16:18. It says, they shall take up serpents, and they shall drink any deadly thing. It shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. This is the elect. This is what the Lord is about to bring spiritual powers to. But for the elect of Israel, this are also. Because the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah is going to be, it's going to be upon the elect. The Lord's not going to let anything harm the elect. Nothing. You know, yeah, there's going to be martyrs, but that's only for the that's only to keep the word of Yahweh Shah true. And those individuals that stand firm, that keep the word of the Lord's patience, they're going to have the best outcome, surpass anybody. They're going to be the first ones to see what's going on. And a lot of those individuals that become martyrs, that's going to give them more, 10 times more the spirit to come against this fucking system, to come against the enemies of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Here it is, Numbers chapter 23. In verse 23 it says, surely there is no enchantment. Let's get what that word enchantment means. Enchantment.
Enchantment.
A feeling of great pleasure, delight, magic, witchcraft, sorcery, wizardry, right? The state of being under a spell or magic, right? There is no enchantment against Jacob, right? Neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what have the Most High worked or wrought? What has the Most High wrought? That the elect is going to be sealed from all of the bullshit that's about to come, or that's even here right now. The elect, there's nothing that we don't consume, air, water, food, that isn't poison. All this shit is poison, man. This man has did a great deal of the destroying. This man don't give a fuck about eating blood. So what do he care about anybody else's health, anybody else's condition? According to how Yahweh Basham Yahshua said, things are supposed to be consumed and done. And this is a point where the hopeful elect, with all this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, how it's grievous, or how it's it's grievous to have this knowledge, but it's not grievous to do our best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, especially in a world this evil. We see why it's in our best interest to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. That knowledge, that wisdom, and that understanding is going to keep us, fortified, keep us strong, all right? Especially in spirit. That's what we're going to need it the most. Here we go again. I'm about to close out. It's almost done.
Fighting on a reality show to the cheers of trillions.
Damn it, man.
Now, I don't know if it was a prophecy from my T-shirt suppliers, Wide Awake Clothing,
Don't do that.
for a bit of fun. Have that bugs and going nowhere. 500 chemicals in a bag. You're all right, thanks. I'll stick with me grass-fed cow. Shopping, buy second-hand second-hand fashion, unless of course you're buying a T-shirt. That's fine. So there you have it. It's all there in beautiful Technicolor. Everything that I've been banging on about for the last 6 years turns out is already on my banking app. It's already set up, like the sandwich last week. And what does it involve? Eating bugs and going nowhere. Exactly like Agenda 30 that was set out by the UN 10 years ago. And there it is. It's there for everyone to see. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that's just for fun. And NatWest have spent all that money developing that app for a bit of fun. Have they fuck? It's entirely deliberate. It'll be on every banking app sooner or later. I haven't checked the other ones yet. I'm too busy being outraged about this one. I can't be outraged about two things at once. Says on my T-shirt, cash is freedom. It's never, ever been more important than right now.
I said more than enough. No reason to get information overload. I want y'all to look into this. Do your homework on it. Look into PFAS being regulated to be used as a pesticide on our vegetables. Look into carbon footprint trackers. Do your research on carbon emissions and the social credit score system. That's what I advise y'all to do if you're not familiar. That way you're prepared for what's to come, or you at least have the information.
Con, I totally agree. Do your research. They say knowledge is power. Ultimately, at the end of the day, listen to the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, studying to show yourself approved, believing in His word, and internalizing it, to fit your daily routine around the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is your overall, is for the elect. That's what they're gonna be doing. I'll say it like that. For the elect, those that's predestined to receive mercy, that's what they're pretty much going to be doing. So I don't have to beat a dead horse. I don't have to, keep on, reminding how it go. How it go. Here, last precept. I have no need to write on to you. Right. Beautiful. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, right? Because that's what all these precautions are being set up for, right? Carbon footprint, the banking app where it tells you, we're doing all these things for your health, but y'all creating shit like microplastics and so on and so forth. The fuck out of here. Again, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. That's all I want to say, to the hopeful elect, especially my brothers out there doing the work, constantly stay and watch and be sober, not being drunk with the wine of Babylon. Hey, and stay away from as much as people as much as you can, because these people, their fucking mind is not right. They're drunken, and these people, they're not happy drunks. They're angry drunks. They're perverse drunks. Their mind is gone. We're living in a world of zombies right now. This is what's that fucking movie or that TV show that came out? I forgot. I didn't used to watch it like that. But it's a fucking zombie apocalypse, man. And these people are out their fucking minds. Anyway, with that, we're gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rachak, Again, double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, to the hopeful elect. Endure. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah, endure. Till next time, Ahabatah, Kal Halayullah, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, Barakatah, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abba Baba.